There are some common mistakes that beginners make when starting out drawing portraits. In this tutorial, I'm going to go over some of those common issues and how to fix them. So a common mistake that beginners often make when it comes to drawing a head is that they'll oftentimes start with an eye. I recommend more starting with the overall head shape. So first, I'll start by drawing in a circle. Go slowly, take your time. Coming down and add the jaw and the chin. And then come in and get the center line. This way you'll end up with a much more accurate drawing with better proportions. So a common mistake that people make when drawing the hair is that they're too focused on the details when they need to see its overall shape. For example, again, here's my head. Get that center line, and then they'll come in and draw the hair like this. When that literally does not look like that, and that is not truly representational of the form. Instead, simplify it and look for the overall shape of that hair. Look for the large corners that you see. So again, get my head in here and really just look for the basic simple corners. Any details can be added later, but don't worry about looking for every strand or the way it gets bumpy. So a common mistake that beginners make is they often draw the eyes too high, but when really they sit in about the center of the head. So when you have your head construction done, come in and place the eye and make sure it's sitting in the center. If it is not, you can readjust it. Here, I put it in and it's looking pretty good. And remember that top third is generally about where the eyebrow sits. On some people, it might come straight across. Others, it might arc up. The hairline again, the one that's in the middle, is gonna be the brow line, and here's the bottom of the nose. So when I come in and place my eye, I'll come in with a generic socket shape where the eyebrow is sitting, get the corners if it goes up and above, and then come back down. Something that you can do to make sure your eyes are placed correct is after you get them in, remember that they sit in the center, and just where they are, come from the bottom of the chin here to about the center of where the eye should sit, and make sure it hits to about the top of the head. You don't want to start with small features, as things will generally tend to grow and get out of proportion, but if you start large, you'll keep everything much more contained. So another common mistake that beginners will make when drawing an eye is that they tend to draw it like an almond shape. While this represents an eye and we understand it as an eye, this is not what an actual eye really looks like. When it comes to drawing an eye, it needs to wrap around the spherical form of the eyeball itself. I would also recommend looking for the overall shapes that you see in the eye. Don't worry about drawing the contour itself, because I am looking for the dark shapes that the light source is creating. So generally speaking, everything on the face can be distilled down into more of an abstract shape. And these are the shapes that I'm looking for when I'm drawing. Oftentimes when people draw the nose, they generally start it like this. This is not the way you want to start your nose. Instead, you want to focus more on a very basic construction of it. What I'm recommending is looking for the bridge of the nose first, then looking for the bottom plane of it. And this is just a very generic construction. It doesn't have to be identical to the model. It's just a way of starting the perspective and getting a much better construction for that nose. So we now have a much more three-dimensional representation of the front plane, the side planes, and the bottom plane. Even though the overall construction of the nose is much more complicated than this, I wouldn't worry about that right now. I would start looking for the shadow shapes that are created underneath the nose from the light source. So generally speaking, you're going to have the shadow on the bottom plane, and just look for a large shape overall. Don't try to look for every little bump. Simplify it. And here I'm coming down and getting that cast shadow. Once I'm happy with that shape, I'll fill it in. As you can see, I'm not worried about the insides of the nostrils or anything at this point. That is not important. That is a very small detail that I can get in later if I decide it's important. So a common mistake that beginners make when drawing the lip is not getting the V shape correct. So here we have a straight on, very simple lip shape with a V drawn properly down the center. Here I will draw that again, but now throw off that perspective of the lip. As you can see, it now feels like it is turning to the left and throwing off that center line. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to follow Domestika on social media. And if you're interested in the fundamentals of head sketching, please check out my online Domestika course.